Welcome back sa The Gamesilog Show, kwentuhan podcast about video games. Ako si Jazz and today's topic is going to be extra special because we have our friends from Unipin Philippines, one of the leading online game voucher provider in the Philippines. Let's all welcome Biencarlo. Thank you for being here.
Hi, good afternoon or good morning kung ano oras niyo man pinapanood.
Kumusta?
I am doing well, okay pa naman.
So mamaya marami tayong mga i-discuss kasi marami akong itatanong sa iyo, Bien, and then yung mamaya yung pinaka-main topic natin. And we also have Evanuell, who is a high-level player in Genshin Impact. So yun yung magiging topic natin. And medyo in-stalk ko yung page ni Evanuell, no? So singer, songwriter ka, maliban sa streamer.
Yes.
Streamer mo.
Yeah, that's right. Because one of my first loves apart from gaming is music talaga. So usually, yun nga pagka nagsistream ako, yun yung parang break. So while getting so frustrated with grinding for artifacts, hindi makuha yung crit damage na yan. Minsan, ayun, gusto kong mas kumanta pa lalo kaysa mag-grind muna tapos balik sa grind.
Nice. So guys, yun yung magiging topic natin, no? Genshin Impact, specifically the new update and the new character Kokomi, no? Pero curious lang ako, sorry. Gusto ko malaman, ano yung genre mo sa music?
Yung genre ko, rock siya. Pero yung mga pinapakinggan ko na music, wide variety naman siya eh. Kasi kung naghahanap ako ng inspirasyon, talagang iba-iba eh.
Gets. Si Bien, no, yung representative natin from Unipin, sobrang excited din ako kasi marami akong itatanong sa kanya. And ang maganda rito, bilang maliban sa pagiging representative ng Unipin, gamer din siya.
Yeah.
So gusto kong malaman, ito, lagi kong tinatanong to sa show pag meron akong bagong guest, no, sa inyong dalawa, Bien, ano yung favorite video game of all time mo?
I would say Tekken, all the Tekken series. Specifically right now, Tekken 7. So, medyo I'm more of the FGC player. And competitive din at the same time.
So, mahilig ka rin tambay sa mga sa mga arcade.
Oh yeah,
Time zone.
Oo. Regular ako. Kilala na ako ng mga guards, pati nung mall.
Nice. Sinong bias mo sa Tekken?
It has to be Lily and Zafina.
Nice. Ganda nun, no? Waifu material, no?
Yep, waifu.
So, si Evanuell naman, tama ba yung pronunciation ko sa
Evanuell.
Evanuell.
Yeah. Or
Ikaw,
Evan, para mas madali.
Evan, ikaw Evan, ano yung favorite video game of all time mo naman?
Well, before I answer that, gusto ko lang dumagdag dun sa Tekken, yung bias ko dun si Asuka.
Magkaaway tayo kasi magkaaway yung dalawa.
Kung magkalaro tayo ng Tekken yun, wala. Talagang rivalry yan. But so my favorite game of all time has to be Xenogears. Kasi talaga nag-start ako with PS1. And then, kasi before, I was really trying to figure out what RPGs do I like playing. And then, it was my family that introduced me to playing Xenogears. And then, talagang, when I played it, of course, when I was a kid, I was thinking, ang hirap naman nito. And I came back to it a few years later. It's like, oh my, like all the story, the character development, the controversies, the whatever. Parang sobrang ganda ng Xenogears. And Xenogears is what made me into the gamer I am today in terms of appreciating all these different difficulties, story, music, animation. I feel like Xenogears has it all.
So, sobrang interesting ng Xenogears for me, no? Kasi ako personally, nalaro ko siya pero hindi ko siya, actually natapos ko siya disc 1. Pero for some reason, hindi ko na tinuloy yung, hindi naman for some reason, kasi I think pag nalaro nyo yung Xenogears, gets nyo naman kung bakit parang nag-iba sa disc 2, di ba? Kung paano hindi mo na siya matutuloy kasi parang cinematics na lang siya or parang hindi na complete, quote-unquote complete yung game, di ba? Would you agree na talagang hindi siya complete, Evan?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it was because they ran out of funding or budget. So parang talagang na-rush nila yung disc 2. But then at the same time, I mean, if they had done it better yung disc 2, okay lang naman na halos cinematics eh. Kasi isipin mo parang ang dami mo nang ginawa sa disc 1. So parang medyo nag-break ka na dun eh. Alam mo, usually mga other games rin, 'di ba, usually towards the end, merong mga whatever end game bosses, a lot of story, resolution. Pero yun nga lang, hindi tayo masyado naging involved sa disc 2. Parang pinapanood lang natin na ina-unfold.
Totoo.
Oo.
Tapos si Bien, no, nabanggit niya na yung favorite video game of all time niya is Tekken. Pero I know na mahilig ka rin sa JRPG, no?
Oo naman.
Pagdating naman doon, ano yung favorite mo? Final Fantasy, or may iba pa? Dragon Quest, Persona?
Sobrang bias ako sa Final Fantasy. Pero not all series. So, hindi ko na sabihin kasi baka magkaroon na kasi marami mag-aaway pa. But my favorite would be, in order would be 8 and then 10. 15, 8, 10. Yun.
15, 8, 10. Nice.
Noctis Boy. Yay!
Nice, sobrang ano rin yan, no? Kasi
Boy Band Noctis.
Boy Band Noctis,
I can still remember nung nirelease siya, parang same din kasi parang nabanggit natin kanina sa Xenogears, no, na parang incomplete. Ang dami rin debate dito na incomplete game daw yung FF15. Tapos,
actually, it is. Tapos binawi nila dapat for the DLCs which we had. Yeah, we had that. Sila Gladio story and all the Choco Bros, 'di ba? And even pa nga story ni nung kalaban, 'di ba? But eventually the real story kasi, or the real quote unquote the supposed ending was supposed to be the episode for Noctis, which was scrapped because of issues with the maker kasi with Kingdom Hearts 3 din kasi parang dahil doon he had to leave it. So they actually just made a novel out of it, which I read. So, alam mo yung parang when you were reading it, yung parang, ano ba yan? Sana ginawa na lang, tinuloy na lang talaga yung episode Noctis. Kasi if you read it, maaano kayo, sobrang, ay, ganun pala. Mapapagano ka. Siyempre, without spoiling, just in case na, even after ilang years na. So, not to spoil. Basta parang everything that unfolds in the novel, parang okay, kaya pala sayang. Mapapagano ka. The last two episodes were supposed to be episode Luna Freya and episode Noctis, which yun yung na-scrap, tapos ginawa na lang novel.
Gets. Guys, ang magiging topic natin Genshin Impact, no? Pero hindi ko talaga pwedeng palampasin to. Hindi ko pwedeng palampasin na itanong to. Yung novel na yun, Bien. Kasi meron din akong mga kaibigan nagsasabi na parang Jazz, kailangan basahin mo to kasi andito yung story. Ang reservation ko naman is parang hindi naman sa pagiging purist, no. Ang gusto kong i-reserve yung memory na meron ako dun sa game na nalaro ko na parang ang dating sa akin ni retcon siya nung novel na to, or
it wasn't
really
talaga it wasn't really supposed to be a retcon parang to be yun talaga dapat yung ending, but you know they were really forced kasi to develop and sell the game na on that day, parang parang no more, kailangan ibenta na natin to, parang ganon. So parang they even admitted naman talaga na there were that everything was rushed na towards the end. So parang to make up for it, they'll make a DLC nga that will supposedly answer the parang lalagyan ng segue para ito plot twist tapos ito nito tong ending. But yun na nga nangyari, nagkagulo ulit with sila with the people back there, and then they just resulted of making it na lang a novel. Personally, sana ginawa na lang nilang a movie would have been better.
Yun nga kasi may ginawa, yun nga ang parang sa akin, sana yung Kingsglaive.
Yes.
Di ba parang bakit nag-spend pa sila ng resources para gawin yun?
Well,
sana yung budget na yun, I mean, ginamit na lang for the game itself, di ba?
No, they really wanted it kasi to go with a bang talaga. Talagang they did all the, they had the YouTube segment, they had
yung anime, no?
The anime YouTube, they had the movie, they had all of these, just to promote it. Kasi it was a 10 years in a making and in a waiting na game From its old name na 13 versus to becoming a FF15 main game na talaga. So they wanted to make it, they wanna go out with a bang. And problema, nagawa na nila everything else. Kaso nga lang, I guess with the graphics and everything, no? So they ran out of time and they had to, parang medyo rush everything. Kaya if you played the game, you'll notice talaga towards the end, parang yung bilis na. Especially on the last chapter. Parang boss fight lang tapos the end.
Tsaka yung time skip, no? Yung time skip ni spoiler alert, no? Yung kay Noctis. Tsaka ang nakakalungkot lang din dito, I don't want to create debate naman din, pero most of the time kasi nung time na ni-release yung FF15, no, merong side na Team Nomura, which is yung talagang visionary nung game, yung Final Fantasy Versus 13, di ba? And then yung project na yun pinasa kay Tabata na gumawa, nagtuloy nung FF15, which is siya rin yung nag-direct ng, kung familiar kayo guys, is Parasite Third Birthday tsaka nung Crisis Core. So bang interesting lang nung nangyari sa Square, and ngayon sa present wala na si Tabata, wala na siya sa Square. So kayo ba, anong take nyo doon? Parang I guess siguro ang gusto kong itanong, alam ko na parang nagigets ko yung dilemma or yung naging problema or naging challenge ni Tabata na gawin yung FF15 na vision ng ibang tao, kasi parang laging ganun siya, laging tumatanggap ng vision ng iba, parang sa Crisis Core nga and then sa Parasite Eve. So I guess siguro isang reason din yun kung bakit ganun yung naging outcome nung ng FF15, or kayo ba mas trip nyo ba yung vision ni Nomura na parang dark, gloomy, etc., parang ganun doon sa trailer na binigay sa atin bago tong final product na FF15?
Well, ako personally, I got intrigued with the trailer. All those numerous trailer with all these foreshadowings with the dog and the wolf and everything. Pero at the end of the day, it's for teasing naman talaga. Kaya nga teaser, di ba? But, the end product is, it's bitin. It's parang but you love it for the game So, ako eventually, di ko na pinansin na it was some say half-baked or what. Basta nag-enjoy ako with the story pa rin, kahit ganun yung ending. Na lang ako nung nalaman ko na ito pala yung totoong ending. Parang ganun. So, but either way, both endings were good. Although marami pa rin hindi nagtumatanggap na patay na siya. So, or even the Choco Bros. Pero sige, wala kayo.
Yeah.
Totoo. Ikaw, Evan, ano yung take mo dito?
Kasi yung nangyari is, naalala ko, nilalaro ko yung FF15 and then hindi ko siya natapos yung ending kasi ang daming news na hindi half-baked siya, hindi pa siya finished or whatever. And like, this is so disappointing. I waited like more than 10 years for this.
Totoo.
Lalo na nung nag-trailer nung FF versus 13, and like, oh my God. Like, all
Angas
this,
nun.
angas nito. Itong character na to na hindi nag-appear sa FF15. Yung, I forget the name of the girl, that girl, diba? She was supposed to be in
Stella.
Ayun, Stella, tama. Yeah,
Stella, and then like
Stella was converted to Luna Freya.
Yeah, she was converted to Luna Freya, and then all the and me personally, I do prefer more dark and gloomy because yun nga parang a lot of the video games usually always have this happy vibe, colorful, na lumilitaw talaga. Pero yun talaga mananotice mo na talagang I am the type of person who loves like Souls-like games or something. Gusto ko talaga na dark and gloomy or difficult. Pero I did enjoy though FF15 kasi I guess a little bit of a spoiler alert. Not story-wise, but in terms of like boss-wise. Naalala ko that giant turtle na
Adamantoise.
The Adamantoise. But the thing was, I was like under-leveled or something. So talagang pinilit ko na matalo. Na under-leveled, under-geared. Because it was fun. And then I remember when I researched na how do you beat this? Na okay, you have to do this. So it's like, okay, that makes it too easy.
Tsaka mas napaisip pa siya nung ni-release yung I think yung Ring of Lucy, something parang one hit lang yung ano.
The Ring of Lucy, but that's actually a small percent chance lang naman.
But then I agree naman with Bien, kahit papaano naman maganda pa rin yung story. It's yun lang, parang medyo na-spoil ako with the ending, but I wish that the ending had been better done. Kasi yun nga, like, they did so well. That's the problem, I would say. Like, because I do have, like, marketing experience. Usually, marketing experience talagang nilalabas sa unahan eh. So, you really get excited. All the explosion is there. But then the problem is, once the game is out, a lot of the other stuff after that, medyo mahina na or something. Because like everybody's bought the game already, so why do I need to continue? This one, maybe this might be controversial, but like everybody's bought the game, everybody's enjoying it. So what's the least I can do to maybe sustain it? Yun nga, maybe I'll add some DLCs, maybe I'll release a few more things to like continue people to keep buying it. But then because people have already bought it, there's not much reason anymore to maybe continue afterwards. Unless, yun nga, let's say like it's a MMO, like Final Fantasy Realm Reborn. Talagang yung marketing niya, promotions niya, tuloy-tuloy and everything because there's no stop. Because there's all new expansions, there's always new characters, there's always new content. Kaya parati silang may budget or something. I don't know.
That's one of the reason why I'm excited to play FF16 kasi yung producer niya is si Yoshi P, which is yung producer/director nung FF14 na online ngayon. So parang sobrang excited ako na yun yung hahawa kasi medyo parang personally medyo umay na ako kay Nomura sa pag-handle ng Final Fantasy series. So, gusto ko naman ng ibang ulo or ng ibang management. Anyway, so, yun. Sobrang excited ako kasi I mean, pag mayroon ka kasi nakausap na same na Final Fantasy fan, no, hindi talaga naiiwasan talaga magkakwentuhan kayo kasi same kayo ng gusto, same kayo ng pinagdaanan, mga nalaro, etc. So sobrang sarap makipagkwentuhan sa inyo guys tungkol sa Final Fantasy.
Same pa ng suffering.
Totoo.
Parang pagka maglalaro ka ng FF, na parang sana ganito siya. Ba't hindi siya naging ganito?
Totoo. So, yun guys, siguro magpupusit tayo sa main topic natin ngayon, no? Pero bago yan, gusto ko lang muna na mabilis ng promotion. Available pa rin yung The Gamesilog Show shirt natin. Kung gusto niyan, mag-PM lang kayo sa Facebook page tsaka sa Instagram. So, walang available sizes so for pre-order siya, pero basta mag-message lang kayo. And ang magiging topic natin ngayon is yung Genshin Impact and then yung new updates and new character. Pero bago yun, marami akong gustong itanong muna kay Bien, no? Bien, can you tell me more about Unipin Philippines, no? Ano ba yung Unipin talaga?
So, Unipin Philippines or Unipin in general is a company and one of the leading payment services provider for online and digital products across the world. So, we provide seamless and hassle-free payment services for top online games, like Mobile Legend, Dragon Raha, MU2, PUBG Mobile, COD Mobile, and more recently, of course, Genshin Impact. So
Nice.
we provide the gem. You can buy rather the gems from us. Gems ni Mobile Legends, diamonds to buy your favorite skin, and for Genshin Impact, you can buy the Genesis crystals for your chance to get your favorite character.
Gets. Siguro ang main question dito, no, kasi nag-gather din ako ng mga same ko na mga players din, no. Gusto kong malaman kasi may iba't ibang store, may iba't ibang platform to purchase these in-game purchases. Meron tayong tinatawag na yun nga, in-game purchase na diretso, kunwari nasa PlayStation ako na I will purchase kung anong tawag ng crystal, diamonds, etc., 'di ba? So what's in it for us or the gamers na pag sa Unipin kami bumili ng credits na to?
Well, what's nice about Unipin is we have what we call the Unipin credits, no? This credit is basically your e-wallet. Actually, yung parang e-wallet na rin na yan, or e-wallet like, no? You can purchase it for a friend, or you can buy buying the Unipin voucher. So you can send Unipin credits to anyone that you want. So parang it's more of a lifestyle na din. And not only with games, kasi we also have like yung mga Twitch what do you call this, yung Twitch reward card or Amazon gift cards, and we also have yung sa PlayStation na PSN cards. We also have that, and also for Nintendo. So it's not just it's also for games, but also we have digital goods as well. And of course, syempre, we also have numerous promotions with our partners like sila Globe, GCash, and yung other partners like si 7-Eleven. Yun, may mga promotions kami, and we're actually having upcoming promotions as well. So marami kaming promos that people can avail and to make their purchases easier and more fun, 'di ba?
Nice. Dito ba sa Unipin meron din siya yung parang, let's say, kunwari siguro pwede ko siyang i-relate. I can relate it to credit cards, no? Pag lagi mong ginagamit yung credit card, you will earn points. Meron din bang ganito sa Unipin? Ito yung platform na ginagamit nila to purchase these
Yes, may mga reward system din kami. So you have to register your account. And then syempre, the more you use Unipin credits, may mga you earn points then that eventually you can use to buy any products or any discounts within the website.
Nice. Ganda nun. Question another, Ben, no? Dito tungkol sa Unipin, no? Meron ako napanood na video na parang sa Mobile Legends, and then bibili sila ng diamonds. And then meron din sariling ang understanding ko is merong sariling app yung Unipin, meron din namang website. So same lang din naman yun, no? Regardless kung anong platform yung gagamitin nila.
Yes. You can buy through the website, and then sometimes some games offer it na in their games mismo na you can buy through Unipin credits or Unipin vouchers.
Nice.
Like si just to give like si Sausage Man, you can buy directly on their website as Unipin credits.
Gets. So siguro ito yung perfect transition for us to introduce yung magiging raffle natin. Bien, can you tell us more kung paano yung magiging mechanics natin dito sa raffle natin?
So later, magko-comment si Unipin Philippines dun sa comment section natin.
Yes.
Magpapa-fill in the blanks, and all you have to do is you have to share this podcast and this stream, and then make sure that you like and follow the pages ni Unipin, ni Gamesilog, and of course ni Evanuell, di ba? And then you have to answer it correctly and use the hashtag na Unipin X Gamesilog Show. So it'll be naman later in the comment section Masusulat yan.
Pati yung kailangan naka-public yung pag-post nila, and then yung caption yun yung answer mismo. Nice.
Kailangan ebidensya.
Totoo. Tsaka magkano yung price, tsaka ilan yung mananalo dito sa raffle natin?
We're actually gonna give away 5 winners of 100 Unipin credits. So kung isang Genshin Impact player ka, that it's already 60, almost 120 gems na rin yun, or so pwedeng dalawang summon na rin yun more or less, or isa. May na ako sumali.
Pwede ba akong sumali? Pwede ba akong sumali?
Ay!
I-share ko yung sarili. Anyway, so maraming salamat, Ben, sa pag-explain ng Unipin, no? I guess siguro mag-proceed tayo dito sa main topic natin, which is Genshin Impact. Guys, mabilis lang na background na tungkol dito sa topic natin. Nung una kami nag-usap ni Bien, hindi niya pa sinasabi tong Genshin Impact. So, parang sabi niya, sige na, sabi ko sa kanya, sabihin mo na kung anong game yung at magiging topic natin kasi syempre para makapag-prepare, tsaka excited din ako malaman kung anong game yun. And then lately nga, banggit na sa akin ni Bien, which is Genshin Impact nga yung magiging game na magiging topic natin. So sobrang excited ako. And ang maganda pa dito, nandito kasama natin si Evan to explain Genshin Impact, no? Kasi to tell you honestly guys, nilaro ko yung Genshin Impact last year. Kaso, parang wala akong bandwidth that time to play lifestyle game. Tawag ko dito sa mga games is lifestyle game eh. Kasi hindi siya pwedeng, parang kailangan mo mag-spend talaga ng time at the same time, para siyang, correct me if I'm wrong guys, no, commitment itong game na to para sa akin. Kailangan kong mag-commit dito sa game na to kung gusto kong lumakas. Do you agree na commitment tong gantong klaseng game, itong Genshin Impact? Evan, siguro.
I would say it depends.
Okay.
The reason why di mo naman siya talagang kailangan ng commitment is wala naman siyang parang competitive factor. Kasi isipin mo, like, other gacha games or other, let's say, mga MMOs or something, meron talagang mga endgame na raids na you need to play multiplayer or
PvP.
Or PvP na, let's say, kung maganda yung ranking mo, you'll get a certain reward of maybe in-game currency or weekly content na kailangan mong to do with a party. So, I would say Genshin is open to all types of gamers na casual ba or everyday talaga naglalaro or ano-ano. But, I mean, if you want to get the maximum amount of like primos, yung like in-game currency and everything in the game, you'll more often than not have to play every day. Kasi yun nga, may dailies that you get certain amount of primos, and then for the events na seasonal siya, if you don't do the events, then magmi-miss ka. You'll miss out on primos. So it can be mixed kasi there are some people who are more or less casual that who'll play maybe an hour or two every day, maybe play a little bit of the story, dailies, tapos wala na. I guess, I don't know if that's casual already or maybe every few days pwede. Kasi the thing is, like, usually, diba, like, because for those of you who don't know, like, Genshin Impact is a gacha kind of style of gameplay. So, if you guys don't know what gacha is, basically gacha is the term for loot boxes in games. You spend in-game currency to roll for characters or weapons. Weapons are a scam. Anyway, in Genshin. Anyway, so you roll for these characters, and then you try to get the good ones. And then if you're free to play, then you don't have any luck mitigation. But if you're very lucky, then you'll be able to get some of these characters. But if you spend on the game, if you're a whale, if you whale on the game, definitely you'll be able to get the characters you want. But that's the thing also, if you whale on the game, there's not necessarily a reason or point why you want to whale, because there's no competitive portion in Genshin. Because most people in any game that wants to whale, it's because they want to have the best characters, best weapons, to be at the top of a certain ranking, so that you can balance out maybe the amount of primos or the amount of in-game currency you get back, diba? Because like if you're number one in like the top ranking of a certain server in a certain gacha game, parang nababawi mo yung primos mo or your in-game currency so that you can more or less spend more. But right now, that's more or less what I'm hoping for in the future, like some sort of ranking system. Maybe not PvP, because if there were PvP in Genshin, it would be very broken.
Puro Zhongli.
Bakit siya magiging broken sa tingin mo?
Puro Zhongli.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is kasi, since it's like a how would you say, like a hack and slash type of game. So and it's because it's like an action hack and slash type of game. Of course, there's like mechanics of like dodging and casting skills and all these different things. But if you have the strongest characters, and because all these skills, and it's not an auto battle system, I feel like you'll be able to destroy the other party very easily if, let's say, you have a Venti. So for those of you who don't know, Venti is a femboy who is like the animo or air god, air archon, for those of you who don't play Genshin. And essentially he was the first technically 5-star that you could buy. And for those of you who play games, Venti has the strongest CC out of everyone. He can pull all the enemies together with his ultimate skill, and then they'll all be flying up in the air, and then you switch to a different character, and then you cast another ultimate skill to hit into that group of enemies, and then they all die. In the game of Genshin, the ultimate skill is called an elemental burst. So Venti, I would say, would be very unfair. So if MiHoYo were ever to include PvP, I feel like they would have to do a lot of balancing so that it's possible for someone to at least maybe an F to P to have a chance to win in some of these battles. I don't know.
Yes. May question ako sa inyo, Evan and then Bien, no? Context lang, hindi talaga ako player ng Genshin Impact, so this might sound stupid, no? Nire-relate ko siya sa Axie Infinity. So dun yung PvP sa Axie Infinity is back to level 1 kayo. So lahat kayo level 1. Magbabase lang yung win rate nyo sa skills ng Axie nyo, and then sa discarte nyo kung paano nyo lalabanan. What if dito sa Genshin Impact, do you think it is possible na para mag-work or para maging balance siya pag PvP is lahat kayo level 1?
Well, I guess that could be a possibility. Or another one is, there you have the character, you are on a set, everyone's on the set level for a particular PvP match. Siguro lahat kayo level ganito, lahat constellation 0, and then maybe no burst, no elemental burst, or no ultimate skill. So it's really just labanan ng skills and gameplay. Pwede yung ganun. Kasi like what Evanuell said, all the the magic or all the unfairness would come from the ultimate skills ng mga characters. So removing the ultimate skills or cannot use ultimate skills during PvP could be a way para you're forced to learn how to dodge, learn to place the skill properly. So I think that's one way of doing it. But for now, kasi I think Genshin is more of not really focusing on PvP, but more focusing on relationship building with the players and with its story, because you start you for those who haven't played the game, you start out as an outcast of a different world where you are forced to be separated with your sibling, whichever sibling you choose, whether it be the girl or the boy, and then it's a journey through a new world that you're not familiar with, and then finding your lost sibling, and then you meet all these friends or the characters that you will be using, eventually becoming friends with them and becoming part of your so-called party and unraveling the mysteries within Teyvat, which is what they call their world.
Ang ganda nun, no? Kasi hindi nga ako familiar sa Genshin. So you can say na itong Genshin Impact is story-driven gacha game. Parang ganun ba?
Yes, I think, right, Evan?
Yeah, it feels very much like it's a single player game. So most single player games, I would say, really are banking on something story driven talaga. And then there are some co-op systems. But yeah, the story is really talagang, it tugs on your heart sometimes. Because there's this one episode basically. So what MiHoYo does well is doing all these stories of different characters. In the usual fashion of gacha games, they usually borrow or take inspiration from other stories, from other games or books or whatnot. But some from time to time, MiHoYo does well in twisting a story to make you cry, angry, or whatnot. Because there's this one moment that I really had to stop playing because so it a little bit of, I guess I'll try not to spoil so much for those who haven't
Sige.
played, but basically there's this story with Klee, the Klee episode wherein Klee was exploring all these different islands and she was being challenged and being told like, oh, you should go to this area because I want you to challenge me. And then like towards the end of the episode, Klee finds out who it was who set out those challenges, and it was for Klee. So I won't say who it was because I think that would be the spoiler. But who that was actually made me stop playing for a bit. I had to vent out to the community. I think I might spoil it regardless, so that you know why I cried. I cried on stream because unfortunately, like my mom passed away from sickness like years ago back in 2014. And the story of Klee reminded me so much of my mom, and I had to tell the communities like, man, like I really want to I really want to remember my mom doing all these different things for me. I want my mom to talk to me this way, or like I want to hear her voice again, type of thing. So that's what I love about not just Genshin, but what I love about video games. When video games do stories so well na parang naalala mo lahat ng mga nangyari sa'yo. Baka your own breakup, you losing a family member, maybe you having this great relationship, or maybe a falling out with a friend. So when games do that, it really makes you want to keep playing more. Diba?
Totoo. Grabe, habang nagkukwento ka, Evan, kinikilabutan ako. Grabe, the power of storytelling sa video games talaga. I remember kung parang hindi siya sa Genshin Impact, no, parang ma-relate ko lang when I played The Last of Us Part 2, yung merong isang scene doon. Guys, kung familiar ka, I guess kung nalaro niyo yung The Last of Us Part 2, the scene with Joel, grabe. So ako naman kasi parang yung dad ko died 2016, so parang syempre father figure si Joel ni Ellie. Doon ko siya nare-relate. So grabe yung power ng storytelling sa video game. So ayun. Anyway, so dito sa Genshin Impact, Evan, no, nabanggit mo na parang ito yung mga magandang ginagawa ng MiHoYo na parang nag-create sila ng stories dito. Gacha game siya pero story driven, single player, etc. Meron co-op, yun nga yung I think sa dungeon lang siya, no? Tama ba?
Yeah, in the dungeon.
Lang.
Taking mismo from like whatever MiHoYo has said, it's basically like a open world action role-playing game. And it's yun nga, parang mostly single players siya because of course, most if not all the story you do on your own. And then pagka nagda-dungeon ka, you can do it with co-op. But the thing is, when you're a high-level player and you also wail for characters, you are having an easy time doing all these different bosses. Because whenever you do co-op and you add players to that, the life of these enemies increase. If I remember correctly, a little bit of their damage adjusts as well. But then if you're really strong and you have a perfect party, parang there's no incentive to like add other players unless you really just want to spend time with them. You want to have fun. For friendship, for companionship.
Catch up time.
Oh, mga
diba, parang like now, diba, in the current situation, that's your pinaka, tara gala tayo. Gala nga lang sa Genshin, diba?
Yeah, and actually, what's this? Because with Genshin, I feel like because the experience of these stories is so different, I rarely play it now on my own. I usually play it now on stream because I love sharing the experiences of these different stories with the community. Kasi iba siya pagka kinikwento mo yung nangyari compared to when the certain situation or event happens. Because I realized like when I stream Genshin, some of the community will want to stay because they want to rewatch certain moments. Because I remember when I started streaming Genshin, I played it like a MMO player. Na parang rush all the content, grind everything, get all the best gear. And then once you reach the end and you finish all the content, wala na. You're just farming. And then it's like you missed all these emotional moments with your community. So I decided, like, when I do the story-based part of Genshin, I want to do it on stream because I want the community to cry with me, get angry with me, get happy with me, or whatever. Complain with me, maybe. Because it's so different. I mean, that's the beauty of video games, like that shared aspect. And I guess not just video games, like be it a book or a movie, it's so different when you have that shared experience. Pero kung mag-isa ka lang, you're going through this whole story, and parang you're doing like an afterthought na storytelling. Iba yung feeling niya eh. Because like, I remember one of, apart from the Klee story, like yun talaga, like my community was there with me, feeling my pain or my memories and whatnot. But then on another moment, like one of the kilig moments was when one of the characters, Ayaka, when she started dancing. That was such an emotional, heart-wrenching moment. And not in the sad way, but it's like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Like, because I remember, like, for those of you who don't know, Genshin Impact, apart from it all being all these, the usual, if you Google it, it'll say open world action role-playing game. What it won't say is that people want to waifu and husbando characters in Genshin Impact. And I remember talking to some people, it's like, maybe I'll not get Ayaka because, like, I mean, she's been teased for the longest time, or some people want to get her. And then when she started having that amazing scene where she started dancing, people were like, you know what? I want to waifu Ayaka now. Because the way she was brought in, that's what Mihoyo does well. And I don't know if they do it because they want us to spend.
Exactly.
They do it regardless. They do it well because when they release trailers or they release videos of certain characters, they really put it in such a way that you really are made to more or less fall in love with someone, unless your resistance to temptation is strong, wherein mine is weak.
I think you're right, Evan, no? Kasi ako as an outsider, when I prepared for this episode, I watched yung parang trailer ni Kokomi, tama ba?
Yeah.
So, yung bang may presentation na sa ilalim ng tubig, tapos may mga isda, something, tapos sobrang parang majestic yung datingan niya. I want her. Parang sabi kong ganun, I want her. Gusto ko siyang, kahit hindi ako player ng Genshin, parang gusto ko siyang gamitin regardless kung ano yung skill niya, kahit may nababasa ako na mababa yung critical rate niya, kung
mababa talaga.
Kung effective ba siya as a DPS or something, parang I don't care. Ang ganda nung character design niya. I think ang ganda nung story niya. Parang, correct me if I'm wrong, parang mermaid siya, tama ba? Hindi ko alam eh. Pero ang ganda ng presentation. So, I guess tama ka. Parang Mihoyo, ang galing ng presentation to entice player kahit hindi nga player eh. Kasi dun sa pagkagawa nung ilang 1 minute lang yata yun na presentation nila kay Kokomi, parang ako personally gusto ko siyang bilhin, gusto ko siyang gamitin, gusto ko siyang gawing waifu.
Well, so, kung gusto mo siyang bilhin, then Unipin can help you. Kasi if you want to buy Kokomi, kasi 'di ba, I guess Evanuell will agree with me kasi there is a pity system, 'di ba? So eventually, if you keep on summoning, you will have the chance to get her. The first PT system is a 50-50 chance to get Kokomi or any 5-star character. If you fail on that 50-50, you get another shot at it. On your next 50-50, it's already, hindi na siya 50-50 rather. On your next PT rather, guaranteed na makukuha mo si Kokomi. So kung gusto mo talaga siya makuha, then of course you need Genesis crystals, and that's where we come in. Nice. So especially now we're coming up with a lot of promotions as well. So we'll make it easier for you, not only easy by seamless and hassle-free purchases of Genesis Crystal, but also we'll make it easy for you kasi we have these promotions para mas mapadali ang pagkuha mo kay Kokomi. Now, I think Evanuell can explain pa nga, what does Kokomi really do ba? Is it worth it ba? Ano?
Yun nga, ikaw Evan, anong maipapayo mo sa akin? Ako hindi talaga ako player ng Genshin Impact and na-entice akong maglaro sa kanya, pero gusto ko siyang laruin sa PS5 and gusto kong kunin si Kokomi. Anong ma-advise mo sa akin?
So if anyone searches on Kokomi on like articles or whatnot, I actually shared recently on my page that Kokomi was the least purchased character ever in all the 5 stars because yun nga, she's a healer. So a lot of by this point in time, if you've been playing a lot of Genshin, you don't really need Kokomi to be part of your team composition. So for those who don't play Genshin, usually your team composition in Genshin is like you have a main DPS, you can have a sub DPS slash support, you can have a healer, and then your fourth also can be kind of like a support as well. It depends, varying on the different compositions that you want to do. And Kokomi would fall in the portion of being a healer slash maybe sub DPS, but not really.
But I guess
okay.
But I guess for mga new beginners or new returning players, I think
Yeah.
support is a good starter, di ba?
Support is
So,
a good starter because
Especially paglabas nung, di ba, there were rumors na the new map is gonna be parang shield resistant or they don't care what if you have a shield, lulusot yung damage either way. So parang healers will be
yeah,
essential again. So if you're starting out with as a newbie, so to speak, no, I think starting off with the healer
Yeah.
or is a good strategy.
yeah, it would be a good strategy. I was gonna joke na if you're strong, the best CC is death. No need for slows, no need for freezing. Just have a lot of damage. But yeah, for
Sige,
any
sorry.
players, I would say, if you are starting out, it would be nice. Like if you're someone who's free to play, starting out, try to get your 5-star characters. So like Kokomi is like the highest rating of tiers is like the 5-star characters, and then there's 4-star characters. So Kokomi falls into like the 5-star list, and I would say yes, you can get her definitely because yeah, like what Bien said, healers are amazing always, especially in like whatever content you do, so that you don't waste any items in terms of healing or whatnot. And
Magastos ang healing dun, yung mga
yeah,
pagkain.
magastos yung healing and everything. And yeah,
Question
healing
ko-
is
sorry,
very
sorry.
important. But yeah, go ahead, Jazz.
Sorry to cut you off, no? Dito sa kay Kokomi, no? Kasi nababanggit nyo na parang, nabanggit mo kanina yung article na least, ano siya? Purchased na
Yeah.
new character. Ang question ko siguro is, ako, galing bilang outsider dito sa game na to, hindi ba ito normal sa mga new characters na hindi pa na-discover how to use this character effectively? Or talagang literal na kung high level player ka na, hindi para sa itong character na to?
So the nice thing that Mihoyo does now is because Mihoyo has been having a problem with leaks, and I feel like any game usually has a problem with leaks. So Mihoyo, what they do now to battle leaks is they usually now do a pre-release of like their stats, what it does, and everything. And when players started seeing what Kokomi does, they're like, I don't need this because I already have a healer. The damage is not what I want it to be because of yun nga, you said when you research, her crit rate is abysmal. It's like negative 100, so it's nothing. So
Zeros.
that's why I was like saying earlier, she can't really be a sub DPS. She's just really a support. If you force her to be kind of a sub DPS, the other special thing about Genshin Impact is reactions, elemental reactions. So
Okay.
I would say like maybe to everybody out there who play video games, you know the usual of like weaknesses when fire gets hit by water, fire's weak against water, and then if like earth gets hit by a certain element, then blah, 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 so on and so forth. So the difference with Genshin Impact is that it incorporates more elemental reactions. So like when water gets hit by electro, it becomes electro charged. When water gets hit by ice, obviously what happens when water gets hit by ice, it freezes. And then when ice gets hit by fire, it melts. So like there's all these different reactions that contribute to the amount of damage that a certain party does, which is why it's important why the composition of a party would have a main DPS, a sub DPS, a support who triggers these elemental reactions, and then of course a healer or maybe a shielder. I mean, there are a lot of different compositions. But so going back, like Kokomi, if she were to do damage, she would have to help out and rely on doing electro charges, because electro charge doesn't check so much on crit rate and crit damage. It's like it's a DOT. It's a damage over time type of damage. So, but then if it's other things, because if it's water and fire, if you get vaporized, and she triggers that, she'll barely do any damage.
Another question, Evan, no? Kasi gusto ko talagang bilhin to si Kokomi kung sakaling maglalaro nga ako sa PS5, no? Pero gusto kong syempre mag-research muna, etc. Pero character design, itsura niya, animation, gusto ko talaga.
Yes.
Pero yung, with regards to, yung sa crit rate niya, wala bang way na parang to compensate? Kasi kunwari, I guess, sa ibang RPGs, no? Kung itong character na to, mababa yung crit rate. So, magsasama ako ng, let's say, mag-equip ako ng item to boost crit rate, or ibang player na merong synergy, pag kinumbine ko sa buong party, magke-create ng high crit rate na para ma-compensate yung kung anong kakulangan na meron si Kokomi. So, dito sa bagong update ng Genshin Impact, no, kahit ito yung pang main issue kay Kokomi, hindi ba siya kayang i-compensate ng ibang character para at least kahit papano hindi ganun ka baba or hindi ganun ka olats yung mababang crit rate niya?
So I would say, I guess, straight to the point, there's no point. It's a waste of time to like try and increase her crit rate, because the usual time that you only increase someone's crit rate is if they're either main DPS or someone who keeps spamming damage from like their ultimate skill or damage from their like elemental skill or whatnot. And if that specific elemental reaction does really well in terms of crit damage. But the nice thing is, you don't have to then now think about building her crit rate. You can focus on others of her stats. Kasi usually whenever you build any character, usually what you do is if they are someone who deals damage, you just increase their crit rate and crit damage. If they are a support, you increase their energy recharge first, and then maybe their crit rate and crit damage. If they're a healer, then you either go HP. If they're a healer or a shielder, then you either increase their HP or their defense, and then go crit damage, crit rate. So there's a usual process, unless special characters like Hu Tao, who do love having HP. So there are some cases like that, character design wise. But going back to Kokomi, like, you do, at least it lessens your thought process on what stats to build. Parang you don't need na to build crit rate on her.
Good. Siguro last question, Bien tsaka Evan, tungkol kay Kokomi, no? Kasi nag-research din ako ng konti, and then meron ako nakita na si Kokomi is parang may skill yata na yung damage niya is dependent sa maximum HP niya.
Yeah.
Hindi ko rin alam din yung kung paano nag-work yung mga stats sa Genshin Impact, pero nire-relate ko lang sa ibang JRPG or RPG na laro ko, na merong dalawang klase na parang magfo-focus ka or magdedepende ka sa crit damage, and meron din namang isa na character na focus on raw damage. Kahit raw, kahit hindi siya critical, mataas pa rin yung damage niya. Do you think, talagang gusto kong isave si Kokomi sa ano, do you think na kaya ni Kokomi makapag-dish ng decent damage kahit hindi critical?
Well, for me, I like to remind you and of course the listeners and the viewers na Kokomi is mainly a support. She is built as a support and as a healer. Now, I know there are a lot of players na hindi, kahit support yan, kahit shielder yan, gagawin kong DPS yan. We know there are a lot of people na ganyan, di ba, Ivan? Di ba?
Yep,
so, but yeah, actually, you can make Kokomi a DPS if you want, di ba? Pero if you really wanna enjoy Kokomi the way she was designed, you have to understand that she is really a healer and wala ka naman nakita sa kahit anong RPG na healer na pumapatay ng unless zombie, 'di ba? Pag gawin, 'di ba? Gamer logic, 'di ba?
If full life
mo yung zombie para mamatay, which is that's the gamer logic, but there's no zombies pa naman in Genshin at pag sana kasi takot ako. But 'di ba? So you have to accept that she is 'di ba? You have to accept that she is a healer first and foremost. But that does not say na she's not useful. Yes, there are a lot of healers na like Barbara, Bennett, and ganyan. But of course, if you don't have them, you should have a healer pa din. And now is the time. If you don't have a decent healer, now is the time to get the best healer then. Kasi not only, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong, but while she heals, she also attacks. So, hindi ka na mamumroblema din. Tsaka yung healing niya is heal over time din. It's not like parang hinil ka lang tapos na. For the duration, naka-regen siya. So, it's nice din na parang you don't have to worry about nababawasan ba ako ng buhay. Kasi you know na as long as the jellyfish is there, kasi pag nag-skill siya ng heal, lalabas yung jellyfish eh. So, as long as there's a jellyfish, you get healed. So, it's also good to, na parang people should focus on her healing aspect more than anything else. And in terms of statistics or the stats, no, if I'm not mistaken, the higher her HP, the better her healing.
Correct.
So ganun siya. Well, for me, kaya ako kasi in the type na pag shielder, talagang fina-focus ko sa shield. Pag healer, hindi ko na pinipili sa sarili ko, pure healer lang. May mga some cases lang, like yung favorite character ko, si Fischl, na hanggang ngayon, hindi ko pa rin alam kung anong gusto gawin sa kanya. Kasi she can be support, she can be hindi, DPS, pero alam mo, I'm both end of the spectrum eh. So, kasi favorite character ko siya. So, but that's just me. But everything else, pag kung ano yung role niya talaga, it's nice to maximize the role of the character na ginawa, di ba?
Yeah, they were built for.
Last question dito, no? Sorry, hindi ko talaga kayang palampasan kasi nabanggit ni Bien yung parang roles, no? Parang kunwari sa Final Fantasy kasi before I can remember na si Yuna, ginawa ko siyang DPS eh.
Did it work ba? Malakas ba damage?
Pwede siya, possible siya. Anyway, pero ang gusto kong ipunto dito, bilang kayo veteran ng Genshin Impact na, do you think it is possible sa future na magkakaroon ng holy na element and then undead or something? Parang yung kunwari parang Ragnarok, 'di ba? Or ibang mga JRPGs na ganito yung element na kunwari yung healer, yung heal parang effective siya sa undead, etc. So, do you think magkakaroon ng ganung another update sa future yung Genshin Impact?
I would say if they were to add that, they'd have to add in Dendro first. It might be a long while. So because we have all these elements. Basically, Dendro is like the grass type element if you guys play Pokemon. And for some reason, they have not added a character at all that uses Dendro. So, I mean, potentially, I feel like they would, in some sort of future, add in like maybe a holy element or a dark element, because I feel like that would extend and expand the universe and the lifespan of the game. Because that would be interesting. I feel like that would be something that could happen. But if they added any new elements, they would really have to do a lot of balancing. Because, for example, let's say if they have a holy element, how does the rest of the elements interact with that? Because more or less right now, the most, if not all the elements kind of react and work well kind of together. Like a water element, hydro, can be triggered by electro, cryo, anemo, geo, and everything. So like it gets triggered by something. It's only geo, the earth element, that doesn't really react with itself, and it reacts very differently to how a typical gamer would imagine a geo element reacting to these other elements like fire and all those stuff, because it creates a shield when it gets reacted to by all these other elements. If we add in a holy and dark element, how would that work? So Genshin Impact would have to figure out something that would make things very balanced. And also, not only that, you'd have to think about resonance, because for those of you, again, who don't play Genshin Impact, when you have at least 2 of a certain element, it does give you a certain passive for your party. And then if you have 4 different elements, it also gives you a different passive. But then if you add in something else of like dark and holy, and then more elements in the future, like they'd have to do a lot of balancing of all these different elements for your party. So yeah, going back to Dendro, they need to first do that. Everybody has been waiting. Kailan nalalabas yung Dendro na character? Like a lot of people were thinking hopefully it would be Sayu, the one who just who was recently released, who was a 4-star character. We thought potentially she could have been that, but then instead they made her Animo. I guess maybe Genshin is still thinking about how do I balance Dendro? How do I balance the grass element or something? Because of course, when fire reacts to Dendro, it already happens, but that's only Dendro enemies, but we don't have our own. Like, how does it react to all these other things as well if we have our own Dendro element?
Gets.
Pwedeng yun, pag Dendro, mas malakas ang resistance against Hydro kasi it absorbs water. Mga ganun, di ba?
Totoo. Plant, no? Parang plant.
Parang plant, di ba? Plant type.
Resistant to knock-ups or knockback or something. I have no idea.
But we'll find out soon kasi, I mean, I think naman Dendro is just around the corner na din.
Yeah.
In terms of,
Definitely.
Totoo. Siguro guys na Bien and then Evan, to end our episode, gusto kong malaman kasi kunwari bibilin ko na si Kokomi, no? And majority ng listener ng The Gamesilog Show is console player. Gusto kong malaman, Bien or Evan, parang you can guide us. Paano ako magta-top up or paano ako magpo-purchase through Unipin para i-purchase to si Kokomi using PS5? Or parang okay lang ba, rekta na ako sa website, meron dun way para to purchase?
Well, all you have to do if you're gonna play it, well, the good part of what Genshin, no, just a quick lang na na siya, cross-platform na siya. So you can create an account anywhere through mobile, PC or PS5, and you can still play it anywhere naman. But if you will really want to play it on PS5, you can purchase the Genesis crystals through our website, www.unipin.com, and then purchase the PSN cards. Kasi 'di ba in PS5 kasi or in PS4, you need all purchases there require the PSN wallet, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So, yun yung way na that's one way. You have to buy the PSN wallet through Unipin, which we provide them.
Nice.
Now, if you're like me who started off with PS4 pero recently switched to PC, you can directly go to the Genshin Impact icon within the Unipin website and just type in na lang your UID and your server. So if you're Asia, you select Asia server, and then you put your UID, and then you select the purchase you want. There is 60 Primo Gems up to 2,000, 3,000 plus Primo Gems. You can choose the amount that you like, and then after that, you can choose the mode of payment that you want. So we have over 40 payment channels to choose from. So wala ka ng problema. I mean, di ka na mahihirapan. We have bank, we have GCash, we have Globe. So we even have 7-Eleven, and recently we're also available in e-payment. So kumbaga no excuse na kahit saan pwede kang bumili ng you can use a lot of payment channels from us. And then after paying it, you will receive in-game agad the Genesis crystal. So there's 2 ways for it, and it's easy. Both is easy. I've even tried it myself, and no joke, ang bilis niya. Pagkatapos ko siya binili, automatic ting lumabas na yung binili ko.
Nice. Tsaka kayo guys, pwede nyong itry yon kasi meron nga, gaya ng nabanggit namin kanina, meron tayong pa-raffle ngayon.
Yes.
Paano nga ulit yung Bien? Kasi sasali din ako eh.
So di ba sinabi ko kanina, I'm sure na-post na ngayon yung comment. No? All you have to do is fill in the blank, give the right answer. Of course, you have to share this podcast and this stream na make sure it's public, and then comment lang ng right answer with the hashtag Unipin Philippines x Gamesilog Show. And of course, kung pwede na rin sana, ilagay na rin doon yun, nag-follow kayo. You followed Unipin, the Gamesilog Show, and of course, Evanuell.
Yun.
So yun
guys, maraming salamat sa discussion natin. Sobrang nag-enjoy ako at sobrang na-hype ako dito sa Kokomi na to. Parang hindi ko alam kung kaya ko pang i-budget yung time ko at kung may bandwidth pa ako to play Genshin. Pero dahil...
Kaya yan. Sayang si Kokomi.
Gusto ko talaga parang gusto ko nang bumalik sa buhay weeb. Kasi talagang, ito talaga Pero yan, babalitaan kayo guys, and siguro most likely pag naglalaro na ulit ako ng Genshin, gagawa tayo another episode na spoiler cast naman or talagang deep dive sa Genshin Impact, no? So yun guys, Bien, Evan, maraming salamat.
Quick lang. Kailangan tayo pressure ng konti kasi ilang araw na lang mawawala na si Kokomi. So, maikli lang ang banner niya ngayon, and compared to the other previous banners, her banner is really short.
Ay, sorry, hindi ko alam to kasi di talaga ako naglalaro ng Genshin. So, etong mga characters na to, meron lang time limit to purchase?
Yes, they are parang exclusive in a sense. There are reruns, pero matagal yun. So, matagal ka mag-aantay. So, if you really like a character, I suggest, kasi now it's less than 15 days na lang ata. So, parang isipin mo na lang, 2 linggo na lang say bye-bye na, di ba? So, kung gusto mo talaga, it's time talaga to top up na. And it's
na mismo after ng recording natin.
Kaya parang, and we are here, Unipin Philippines is here to make it easier for you to get your dream character na si Kokomi.
Very nice. Sige, magta-top up na ako.
Kasi usually like gacha games talaga, mga limited banners lang talaga sila So, only when they have a rerun or they have their banner, dun mo lang sila makukuha. So, si Venti, hindi pa siya nagre-rerun. I don't know if they want Venti to do a rerun.
Namadaya si Venti. So he's like the real exclusive talaga.
Yes, kasi Venti was the banner nung September when Genshin initially launched. And talagang
unang-una tanda ko nung naglaro ko last year.
And a lot of people would say that I think MiHoYo also recognizes that they messed up with Venti because Venti is too strong. And kung hinaan nila si Venti, daming magagalit.
Parang they just decided not to touch Venti anymore. Parang Venti is Venti, and they just corrected all the stats building and the later banners.
Yeah.
Naalala ko before nung naglaro ko last year ng Genshin Impact, ang sought after na character is si Diluc. Ngayon wala na ba siyang kwenta?
He's still strong. He was the sought after, especially if you have the Venti Diluc combo. But because since there are there are strong pyro characters already, you don't need to look for Diluc. And the problem kasi with Diluc is, so there are different banners. So there's the limited exclusive banner so that you can get these characters. Diluc is available usually in the standard banner, which is the one that's always running that you can keep rolling on with fates, with
acquainted fate.
Yeah, with acquaint fates. And then the limited banner is where you use the purchase for intertwined fates. So the fates are basically the loot box that you use to roll on either the acquaint fate is for the standard, and then the intertwined fate is for the limited banner. And the thing is, when you want to try and get Diluc, you can either get him in the limited when you, like Bian was explaining earlier, there's a pity system of 50-50. If you lose the 50-50 and not get the promotional character, you might get Diluc. But you're also fighting with other characters like Mona, Jean, Ketching, and getting these. And then in the standard, I would say a tip that I would give to everyone and anyone: never spend your Genesis crystals on the standard banner.
Yes.
Always spend it on the limited exclusive banner, because on the standard banner you have no chance of getting any of the promotional characters. Sure, you have a chance of getting 5-star characters and some of the 5-star weapons, but it's a big pool, and might as well just do it it's better to just spend it all on the limited banner.
Yung 50-50 doon, 50-50 pa. Ganun kalala.
50-50 doon. And then, weapon banner is a scam.
So, Evanuell with his advocacy.
It's a 50-50 weapon. It's 50-50 for a weapon. And then, you might not even get the weapon you want.
Magandang hashtag yan. Scam yung weapon. Anyway,
scam yung weapon banner.
guys, maraming salamat sa nilaan yung time for this episode. Sobrang nag-enjoy ako. Madami akong natutunan and I guess siguro talagang magdadagdag ako ng another bandwidth or extension ng bandwidth ko para malaro tong Genshin Impact. So, before we end our episode, any shoutouts, promotion, etc.? Bien?
Well, like I said, we are coming up with a lot of promos right now. Please visit our website to check more. And I'm sure it's not just for Genshin, but other games as well. So please be sure to check out our website, www.unipin.com. That's UNIPIN.com. And then shoutouts to all my friends and families. Hope you're watching. Hope you're enjoying.
Yun. Ikaw naman, Evan.
Alright, and so just, I guess, to reintroduce myself for those who maybe are just catching me now at the end of the episode. I am Evanuell, and I do stream on twitch.tv/Evanuell. That's EVANUELL. Whenever people ask me how to pronounce it, just pronounce it like Emmanuel, but it's Evanuel or something. And I'm a variety streamer, so I do play a bunch of different games. My initial community was created based on Genshin, but I'm now doing all this other variety stuff. I'm also a mental health advocate, so my space, definitely our space in the community, is for all those who want to vent or talk about all these different things, because I do go through all these different mental health challenges, and I would like to believe I know whatever you are going through, all these different listeners who may have these challenges or situations. I'm not going to curse, but I've more or less gone through a lot of S in life. But so
Same.
yeah, I feel like a lot of us, especially now with isolation and lockdown and whatnot. But yeah, you guys can find me on twitch.tv/Evanuell. Across socials, you can find me as well as Evanuell on Facebook. It would be with TV on Twitter. It would be with an _ Evanuell. I had a problem with all these handles, but I feel like I'm one of the few Evanuels in the world.
Very unique.
Yeah, very
Totoo.
very unique. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy and grab Genshin Impact. If you haven't yet, please get it. You can be any type of player. You can be a casual player. You can be a hardcore player and play every day. You can be a whale. Unfortunately, like me, who spent on the game. I won't disclose how much I've spent, but if you see my characters, if you ever drop by the stream, you'll see how much I've spent, because like, I have a C6 child. I have
Wow.
So yeah, I guess that's something I didn't answer earlier. My favorite character is Child, or Tartaglia. I pronounce it as Tartaglia because I don't know, when I see the G aligned like that or spelled like that, I think of Italian, so it would be Tartaglia, but people pronounce it as Tartaglia. But yeah, so I spent on that.
Tomato,
C6
tomato,
Child,
okay lang yan. Basta
tomato,
child.
tomato.
Basta child sa huli.
Child sa huli.
So, yun guys, no, kayo sa mga gustong maglaro ng Genshin, samahan nyo ako, mag-start ulit ako ng Genshin. Tsaka yung mga socials, yung mga link na nabanggit kanina ni Bien, nabanggit ni Evan, ilalagay ko yan sa podcast episode description, sa caption nung video natin. So, para mas madali nyo silang ma-follow. So, yun, again guys.
Sorry, padagdag
sige.
ako, last na lang.
Okay lang,
Magkakaroon na rin pala kami ng Pinpin, the streamer, starting Monday.
Ano yun?
So,
paano yun?
Magkakaroon kami ng our very own streamer na si Pinpin, the streamer that will stream every Monday. So he'll be streaming more of Genshin muna. So please support Pinpin the streamer. He's always live sa page namin every Monday.
Nice. Sige, support natin yan. So yun guys, maraming salamat sa time nyo, sa pakikinig kung nakikinig kayo sa audio version, and then sa panonood kung nanonood kayo ng video version. And sa susunod na episode ulit. Bye!